me to find a job where, one, you're being fulfilled and you get to provide a service that you absolutely love. Like, you know you're doing great work. It's Woody, and we're back with the 7 dimensions of health, filling our buckets slowly so we can reset our year. Okay, so the next dimension we're going to talk about, I'm just jumping around here, is vocational. That was something with Amazon, so a package must have arrived. So, let's see, vocational. Let's get back on track here. Basically, vocational is your job, right? So within your job, or within something that you do where you have to get up every single day, interact with people, or provide like some type of service, what does that look like for you? How is it benefiting your health and wellness? And I know there's a majority of us out there that they feel their job is hurting them. They love what they do, but it's not providing enough for them, physically, mentally, emotionally. And some may be like, a job is a job, get that money. Understood. Very much understood. So for me, let me just give a backstory. So I worked for a nonprofit for a few years after I moved back from my master's. I was under the assumption, wow, look at me, got my master's, moving back home, I'm gonna apply for jobs, I'm gonna get what I want. Unfortunately, the field that I wanted to be in was saturated with people that were much older than me and that didn't look like me. And so it was just a hard arena to fight. And so I was still willing to fight, but it took a long time. And so I worked for a nonprofit. Love this nonprofit, continue to support this nonprofit even to this day. And I absolutely just adore the people that work there. And some of my really close friends are from that nonprofit in particular. So during those 4 years working there, I was struggling to make ends meet. I was living with my parents at the time still, so that was really helpful, but I barely was making enough to save. So everything just went straight to bills. Like at the end, I barely had money for myself, and that was really tough. And then I think what made it difficult was like the hours too. So it was like an after school program, so my hours were really late. It was hurting just my social life. Like I love working and making money, but anytime anyone wanted to meet for dinner or whatnot, I couldn't. And there were just holidays where we had to work, and of course we worked through the summer like everyone else does. And that was hard. It was just difficult and draining at times. And then of course the finance just wasn't working for me. I was like close to like my late 20s still working here, and then I was in my 30s as well, and I was just not making enough. And then I think the kicker for me was just like the days I needed off. And I wasn't the type of person that was like gallivanting on just odd days, right? I used like our vacation days that we got, like any holidays, major holidays. I was like, perfect, I'll use that to go somewhere. But it was when I had a lot of family deaths that took place. And it just like, I was limited to how I could spend time with my family. So I had a family member that was dying of cancer, and I couldn't take days off that I needed to go see her. And that was really difficult for me, that like I was limited to X amount of days and I couldn't go over. And that was hard for me to grapple with. Like I was just like, I know not every job is like this. Every job is not gonna allow you to just leave. But I knew, one, like financially, this job is not giving it to me at all. Like I was at a point where I think, based off of my salary, I was like below, I don't even know how to describe it, but it was just like, it was bare minimum. So one, I wasn't getting the salary for the work that I was doing. And that's usual for nonprofits, so I wasn't special, right? And then second, I couldn't be with my family when I wanted to be. So that was really frustrating to me. So by the end of, I think, my last year working with them, I went back to school again, and the college that I got my master's in was doing a program where it was like, hey, you received this master's, now we have this master's, which is like another program, but it's based in, you'll graduate with Master's of Science. I was like, that's amazing, what do I need to do? And so I was able to complete that in, I believe, like 2 years. And that was when I knew, I was like, I have to leave this job. And the next job I get, I'm gonna make sure that I complete this master's so no one gives me a reason to say no. Your girl has 2 masters, please don't come for me. and I wanted the opportunity to see my family when I want to, how I want to. And so yeah, that's actually what ended up happening. I left, I believe, June 2021, and then I finally found the school and the job that I dreamed of, and I just had a school schedule. And as you should know, because some people don't realize this, teachers don't get paid for vacation, just FYI, right? We get paid for the contract time that we serve the students. So if you are 9 months, 10 months, whatever it is, that is the contract, right? So during the summer, you're not paid, right? You can cut up your checks for 12 months, but that was for the 10 months you served your school, your students. Just wanted to let everyone know that. So anyways, I have a job now where my schedule is flexible. And I know there's other jobs where schedule is even more flexible, right? Like I can't just like willy-nilly take a week off, but I've submerged myself in an environment that understood loss and understood family. And I don't know if it's because like it's run by a bunch of women, like that also could be it too. But there was an understanding that you need some time. Yes, you may leave after finding out information, and then let us know what needs to happen. So I think it was just a job that cared for your well-being, and I was able to have just more flexibility. And during the summertime, I didn't blink an eye when it came to traveling. So my other job, our summertime was actually blackout season because it was camp. And so we couldn't do anything during the summer. And the one time I remember, I think this is when the nudge came. One time I remember I had to request time off, was for my cousin's wedding in 2019. I had to request time off. It was in August because that's when the French are off. And I was flying to France for this wedding because that's where my family is. And I remember the look I was receiving. Like, oh, 2 weeks, summer, really? And it's just like, I actually didn't take a single day off this whole entire cycle at all in order for me to get those 2 weeks. And then after I requested those off, we started having like meetings, like summer meetings, camp, things like that. And of course, at this point in time, I've worked there now a good amount of time, and I felt like I had some type of voice to speak on behalf of the rest of the staff that were like, I don't want to say below me because we never felt that way, but just like the other staff. And so I seen the year. I saw how hellish it was. And I was like, wow, we kind of need a break in between the school year and camp. Like the staff needs it. And I remember advocating, and I said, yeah, I think it would be nice if if the staff got X and X day off, or like we don't have any kids, but we just have a meeting so that way we get to like reset for the summer. And the response was, you're going away for 2 weeks. What is the reset you need? Guys, I lost it. I think at that point in time, I knew you have me for one more year. It was that type of response where I was like, those are my 2 weeks to have. What do you mean? And it's for family. Like, I'm not going on willy-nilly. Like, I'm sorry that my family lives in France. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's just where a lot of Haitians went, okay? Like, I'm not mad about it. I love it. But for you to say, like, oh, you're going away for 2 weeks, what rest do you need? I was advocating for my staff. I was advocating for these people that have been working hard all school year with no days off. Please. Anyways, I've never encountered anything like that. At this job that I currently have, I'm going into my 5th year now at this job that I absolutely love. And I love the people that I work with. I love my coaches that like work in the athletic department with me. I love the staff that just like work alongside me and teaching the kids. I enjoy the athletic directors that I work with in the other towns and cities and schools. Overall, I absolutely love my job. I love the people I get to work with. I love my students, even though they give me a headache and they call my name way too many times a day. But it's been great, and it's been great to have the moments like summer vacation, winter break, all of those things, just like reset and rest, because during the school year, that doesn't even exist. And you're just pumping 50 plus hours a week sometimes. And they're just like long days. Sometimes my days are like 7 to 8 p.m. Like, it's just wild and wicked. but it's worth it because when I do want to spend time with my family or someone's getting married or things like that, I have no PTO I need to request. Like, what is that? For example, my brother got married last summer, right? So during his whole wedding week, there was no need for PTO at all. And I got to spend time with my family. We got to do the dinners, the brunches, all of that stuff because we just had that time. It's been great and I really enjoy it. And I think when it comes to vocational, this is a long-winded story, but like, you need to find a job where one, you're being fulfilled and you get to provide a service that you absolutely love. Like, you know, you're doing great work. I know for myself, I'm doing great work. I get to serve students on an educational level and then of course on an athletic level. Those are the two things I strive for, and I'm just grateful that I get to share my love for athletics and for education with these students, right? So that's something like you should try to seek and find. So if you are, let's say, you're a middle school student, high school student, and you just happen to come across this video, what I would suggest is this is a perfect time to do volunteer work, to do internships, and just to dabble in everything and anything, right? It is very difficult for a high school student to know for sure what they're gonna do for the rest of their lives. But it's really easy to like, oh, I'm gonna try this volunteer at this location or X location or under this professor, under this businessman or woman, or under this doctor. And if your school has internship opportunities, take full advantage of that time. So my school, there is 2 weeks where the juniors actually go and they do an internship. And during the entire school year prior to the internship, it's their job to seek out a place where they would like to intern. So it's really important for them to make connections, network, things like that. Maybe use their parents' resources to find something that they know they're gonna enjoy and love and tap into it. Some people think they wanna, let's say, go into nursing and then they find out like all the bedside care they need to do and they're like, yeah, that's not for me. That legit happened. One of my softball girls was like, Miss Moise, absolutely not. So all in all, what I would suggest is that take the time when you're young to dabble into all things and everything. Find the things that you enjoy, that you love, and the things that you're like, that will never be my life again. And that's just gonna help you in the long run, especially learning like what are the boundaries that you're willing to have for your job. And I think that's really important. I understand that some people have high-stake jobs where they just bite the bullet and they just grind and they allow the job to take over. That's their business. But if you're someone that you want a job that's fulfilling, a job that still pays you well, right? And then you're able to still care for the things that you love, absolutely. That's where my vocational bucket comes from. Because for me, if my faith and family get compromised because of a job, that's not it. And that's exactly what this job was for me in the past. This current job that I have has not compromised any of that. And that to me is very important. Putting my faith and family first, then the job comes after. And I think because of that and really settling in a space where I'm like, God, I'm relying on you to find this job that's going to provide for me, but allows me to have the time and space to breathe and care and be with the people that I want to be with. He provided. It took a while, but the Lord is always on time, right? Delayed, but not denied. And so here we are in a vocation that I love with the people I get to work with, the students I get to work with. So what is your vocational bucket that you need to fill? What are things and boundaries that you need to set into place? What does the future look like? And what do you need to do to get there? So for me, yeah, I went back to school. I'm currently doing certificates to advance me in the athletic world, to allow me to continue to be in spaces that no one can tell me no, right? These are things I'm working hard for, having the discipline and the ability to be like, okay, I know where I want to go. These are the things I'm going to continue to do. So what is that for you? So how do you fill your vocational bucket? So we talked about physical and now we've talked about vocational. So these are the two buckets that we are currently filling up with the 7 dimensions of health, and still going to be a reset for me. So how is this resetting the next 6 months of 2025 for me? So I'm going into the school year and I know I want things to always be different than the last, right? We can always do things that are better and bigger and better. And so for me, it's systems that I want to create to, one, allow the future just to be better. So this past year, I had a situation where I had a day off and it wasn't a day off. There were things that required my attention and it was frustrating because I needed the day off and I really didn't have it. And because of that, I realized like I don't have proper systems in place in order for this job to be seamless when I'm not there. And so that's the goal for this year. Like, how can I create systems to allow the job to work well even when I'm not there? And then also, I'm raising my expectations for my student athletes when it comes to the academics, discipline, behavior, all of those things. Those are leveling up. And it's also leveling up for my parents because I think some of them need to be checked. A few, not all, just a few, like maybe one or two. But these are things that I have been given the freedom to adjust and analyze in order to provide the school and the student body just a better experience in the athletic department. So that's kind of like where I am. And because I have a great support system at school, and I have really great coaches that are willing to push those expectations, and I'm just so grateful that they're saying like yes to all of these things that I want in place, and they're willing to step in and share those things with the student athletes. So that's kind of like the goal. And I think when you are at a job that you love and that you're nurtured, not like holding hands nurture, but people are willing to like push you to be better and do better, you're going to want to do more. You're going to want to see results. You're going to want to see these high expectations being met. And that is currently where I'm at right now. I am in a space where I'm like, I love the work that I do. We're going to do it better. And I'm not going to push myself to exhaustion. We're going to do it in a way that allows me to have the space and the time to provide for these student athletes. And then if I need to take a step back, I can take a step back. But that's kind of like where my vocational bucket is being fed and how I know I'm in a healthy space. So that's kind of vocational for me. It's been great. Going on to year 5, absolutely love it. And of course, right now I am studying for my personal training certification. And so I don't know what that will look like. I don't know if I'm going to be in a space where I am in like, a gym or business or whatever, or if I do things on the side on my own. I don't know yet. We'll see, and I'm excited for that future. Okay, the sun is setting and this conversation's coming to a close. So I hope this gave you a little bit of insight of what to look forward to when you're filling your vocational bucket. So until next time, guys, bye.